was a stunt so outrageous, in retrospect, it seems insane. Daredevil Ken Carter's attempt to fly a rocket-powered car 1 mile over the St. Lawrence Seaway from Canada into the United States. The car looks like a Lincoln Mark IV, except for 2 stubby stabilizer wings designed to keep it from rolling in mid-flight. But under its fiberglass shell, it's a whole different beast. A titanium body houses 2 hydrogen peroxide rocket engines. By forcing hydrogen peroxide through a catalyst screen, the engines generate huge amounts of steam and oxygen. Together, they're capable of 11,000 pounds of thrust. Despite all that power, the stunt ends in spectacular failure. And Ken Carter, the mastermind behind it, isn't even driving. Somebody else risked their life. But who? And what was the fate of the mystery driver?
He had no fear at all.
In the 1970s, Ken Carter spent 5 years and $1 million trying to realize his dream of flying a rocket car between 2 countries.
I'm looking for a world record. I'm looking for the ultimate statement. Ken Carter, world's greatest daredevil.
At Morrisburg, Ontario, where the St. Lawrence is a mile wide, Carter's team constructs a mammoth quarter-mile runway utilizing 400,000 tons of dirt and a system of steel girders and cement pilings. The first 660 feet of runway is level. The next 660 feet runs up 8 stories. But Carter never got to fly his rocket car. And Jim Deist, who designed a system of 6 parachutes for its re-entry, says the man who actually did fly it had no experience with the car at all.
No, there was no real preparation. The night before, we taught him how to drive the car verbally, and we told him what pedal to push and how it's supposed to work and what lever to pull. This is the original side panel.
In a test run with Carter behind the wheel, the Lincoln rocket car easily tops 250 miles per hour.
Well, Ken, how'd it feel?
Just like you said it was going to run.
But behind the scenes, the money people backing Carter have lost faith in him. They decide to replace him.
A lot of people thought that Kenny Carter had lost his nerve and wouldn't make the jump.
Tow truck operator Norm McIntosh, a member of the crew, will never forget what happened next.
And it got to the point where finances were low, and it was now or never. And that's why Kenny Powers had to get in that car, and it had to go off the ramp that day.
Go, do it now!
Kenny Powers is Ken Carter's backup driver on the stunt car circuit, where they both work. He looks a lot like Ken Carter. Carter is the star, but often Powers fills in for him. And now, without Carter's knowledge or consent, the people in charge give him the green light.
He got in that car, he didn't know anything about it, and went up that ramp. Unbelievable.
The rocket car blasts off.
It was just a matter of seconds, and man, it was gone. It went so fast, it was unbelievable.
The car shoots about 500 feet in the air. It flips upright, and wind rips away chunks of the fiberglass shell. The parachutes deploy. After only 9 seconds, it's all over. The car splashes down in shallow water, and the replacement driver, Kenny Powers, starts climbing out of its moonroof. Rescuers carry him to dry land, where it's obvious he's seriously hurt. Amazingly, he was climbing out of the wreck with a broken back.
3 cracked ribs.
Felt like I'd been run through a meat grinder. My simple broken back was broken 8 places. My leg was cracked and broke, my toe was broke, my hand and my wrist was messed up. I had ribs that was broke, my jaw was cracked.
Kenny Powers not only survived, he continued his career as a daredevil driver. He's long since retired, but he'll never forget his 9-second rocket ride to immortality.
Well, first off, it's instant. You don't build up speed, so you're going 250. You're doing that right now. You actually have tunnel vision, and you're looking where you're already been.
What Kenny didn't realize at the time, the flight was doomed because the ramp was too bumpy.
The car was bottoming out. The tires were bottoming out. It was hitting so hard that the tires were flattening out on the pavement.
Vibrations cracked the fiberglass body, and the parachutes deployed even before the car went airborne. So instead of doing 270 miles an hour, it was only going about 180.
If the ramp had been smooth, it would have worked a lot better.
Sadly, Ken Carter, the mastermind behind the rocket car, never did get to attempt the stunt. He died in a crash several years later. But thanks to Ken Powers, Carter's replacement driver, the legacy of the Lincoln rocket car lives on.
What went wrong was everything.